to have on the board. And this is an SS1 class. In our class for today, we will cover 3 areas. What is commerce? Scope of commerce. And then functions of commerce. When you hear the word commerce, what comes to your mind? Commerce have to do with the activities that are involved in distribution of goods to the final consumers. It is an aspect of production that makes the production process complete, because without commerce, products cannot get to the final consumers. So we can simply say that commerce is all activities involved in the distribution and exchange of goods and services. We can equally say that commerce is a branch of production which is concerned with the distribution, exchange of goods and services, and all activities that aid trade. So we look at commerce in 3 aspects. Commerce involves activities that are concerned with 1. Distribution of goods, another one, production of goods, and then exchange of goods. So 3 key points are there: distribution, production, and exchange. But all in all, commerce makes the final consumers to have their final products. It starts from getting the raw materials to the manufacturers, down to production of these goods, ready for consumption for the final consumers. So we can say that it is in 3 aspects we look at it: the production, the exchange, and the services. The production, the exchange, and the services. So let me run through the definition I have on the board. Commerce can simply be said to be all activities involved in the distribution and exchange of goods and services. We can equally say that commerce is a branch of production which is concerned with the distribution, exchange of goods and services, and all activities that aid trade. When we get to scope of commerce, you will see all activities that aid trade. So commerce and trade works hand in hand. Without commerce, trade is not complete. And without the product getting to the final consumers, production process is not complete. And if the product do not get to final consumer, trade has not taken place. Because you cannot trade without those who are consuming finally if they don't get it. So commerce is an important aspect in our production process. It is an important aspect in our trading process. Commerce is all activities that are involved in making products get to final consumers. So let's go to the next point, which is the scope of commerce. What is the scope? Under the scope of commerce, it entails that it includes all activities that aid distribution of goods, that aid the exchange of goods, and then that make possible services rendered to consumers to be possible. So the scope of commerce include all activities which ensures the distribution and exchange of goods and services for the satisfaction of the people. The major aim of commerce is to get to the final consumers, to give them satisfaction. Satisfaction is a major thing that commerce involves. I'm going to use a small pictorial illustration to show us what the scope of commerce covered. We're going to see commerce We're going to see trade. We're going to see aids that help trade. And all these aids are what makes production complete. And that is what makes goods get to the final consumers. Remember that in trade, if goods have not arrived at the hands of the final consumers, trade have not taken place, commerce have not taken place, and production process is not complete. So let's use this diagram to illustrate the scope of commerce. Diagram on the board that I want to use to explain to you what commerce is. Remember I said commerce has to do with all activities that are involved in production, exchange of goods and services. 3 key points: production, exchange of goods, and then services. So now, this is commerce illustratively drawn on the whiteboard. This aspect has to do with trade, and this other aspect has to do with aids to trade. If you were in my business study class, the last episode I uploaded on the trade, I discussed intensively what trade is. We talk about trade, home trade, foreign trade, wholesale, retailer, import, export, entreport. So in commerce, these are things that makes commerce complete. Commerce involves trade. And under trade, we have home trade, we have foreign trade. Under foreign trade, we have importation, bringing in goods to the country. Trade between Nigeria and China, trade between Nigeria and USA, and importation have to take place between 2 or more countries. And it has to be between countries, not within the countries, outside, foreign. That's why it's called foreign trade. Export is we taking our product from Nigeria to other country. Like for example, sending our crude from Nigeria to places like Germany, America, China. That is exportation, taking out. Our agro product, we take it to other countries too to be sold. That is exportation. Entreport is when a product, an imported goods come to Nigeria, it's not discharged from the wharf, and then it is re-imported to another country. Let's say for example, machines are imported from China to Nigeria. It gets to Nigeria, gets to the wharf, gets to the seaport or the airport. It moves again to Ghana without these goods being discharged in Nigeria. So Nigeria re-import it back to Ghana. That is entreport. Wholesale has to do with sellers buying in bulk from producers so that retailers comes to buy from them. The retailers are small buyers. They don't house one particular product. They house small quantities of different product, of different variety, and of different brand, so that final consumers comes to them and then they buys from them. Then the next one is aids that facilitate trade. Remember I told you that commerce is equally involved in services rendered to make trade possible, and to make trade possible so that the final consumers get this product in their doorstep or in their homes or in the retail shops. What are these aids that facilitate trade? We have insurance, communication, tourism, warehousing, transport, advertising, and banking. How does these ones, one after the other, facilitate commerce? First, insurance. These are risk takers. They undertake risk on behalf of the producers. Number of producers come under one umbrella to insure themselves, insure their company as against loss, so that when such losses occurs, the insurance company comes to indemnify these companies. So they are risk takers. They undertake risk on behalf of the companies that are involved in commerce or in production. Communication. Without communication, products cannot flow effectively. In this era of GSM, we get in touch with our buyers wholesalers, retailers that might buy from us, or final consumers. We got in touch with them and know when we are moving our products to the final consumers, or to those who need our products in their house, in their own shop or warehouses. Tourism. Tourism has to do with people who comes from other places to have a place of attraction, things we have produced or things we have in our vicinity, to take a look at them, and it serves as an entertainment to them. This is part of trade, because we take our wares to this place and then we are able to sell. We have tourism center where we can sell our products or our services to foreigners or people within our country who have come to a tourist center. Then we have warehousing, where we put in our products that we have produced, so that we can be able to move it out to buyers, either those who are wholesalers or those who are retailers or even our final consumers. Without the warehouse, production process cannot be complete, because we cannot take our product to anywhere apart from shipping it from our production center to the warehouse, where it is taken down to final consumers or to wholesalers. Then we have advertising. Advertising has to do with allowing the public or letting the public know that we have a particular product. It can be words of mouth, it can be through jingle, it can be through television, radio, or whatever means, so that they can know that we have a particular product on hand that we are selling. That creates an awareness to the general public that we have products on hand that can satisfy their wants. So advertising helps our products to get to our final consumers. Then we have banking. Money moves hands, money exchange hands. Without money we can't buy our raw materials, and without money we can't get we cannot sell to our final consumers. So the banking system serves as a medium of exchange monetarily to get our money back to us, and for us to get money down to those who give us raw materials for production. So these are aids that help trade. It's commerce, and this is what makes it trade complete. When explaining the scope of commerce, remember this diagram, put it down, and use it to explain the aids of trade and trade itself. Then commerce is complete. Go to my business study class and see what trade is. That will help you, aid you in understanding this diagram the more. Now let's go to the function of commerce. Look at the last aspect of our class for today, functions of commerce. We've seen what commerce is, we've seen the scope of commerce. What are the functions of commerce? From the explanation of commerce, or from the meaning we derive from what commerce is, you can get the function. It has to do with services, exchange of goods, and then production. So now let's look at the functions. One of the functions is exchange of goods and services. Commerce makes the exchange of goods and services possible. Goods get to the final consumer because commerce is involved. Because there is transportation, there is warehousing, and there is trade. Then second, risk bearing. I told you when I was explaining the aids to trade about insurance. And remember I told you that insurance companies are risk bearers, they are risk takers. They indemnify the company or the organization that are involved in production process should in case they suffer any loss. This group of producers that come under the umbrella of the insurance company are pulled together, resources are pulled together to indemnify or to bring the person back to his normal position, if not finally to his normal position, at least bring back the person into business. They are risk bearers. Employment opportunities. If you look at the aids to trade, advertising, warehousing, banking, transportation, communication, tourism, insurance, all these areas, people are employed in different sectors of these aids that help trade, and this gives opportunity to people to be employed, which gives them their livelihood, put food on their table. So commerce makes employment opportunity available for so many, because those sectors employs a lot of persons. Promotes rapid transfer of information. Communication. Under the aids to trade, you saw communication as part of aids to trade. And so communication is made possible through commerce under the aids that help trade. And so when communication is rapid, it facilitates the goods getting to its final destination and then final consumer having it, because they can communicate within themselves of when they needed this product, what brand they need, specification, and the rest of them. Financial trade, financing of trade and other activities. Banking, they give loan to company, they give loan to traders, they facilitate trade, they help to finance trade so that trade can be complete. They facilitate trade, banking, they give out loan. Even insurance company too still come under this, but majorly the banks carry out this function on the commerce. Then increase standard of living. If you are employed and you have food on your table, that makes your standard of living improve, because you live averagely as a human being, and you are able to provide for yourself and for your immediate family and those you are concerned about. Then warehousing function. When I was explaining the aids that help trade, we talked about warehousing, where production, those who produce it, take their product from the production point to the warehouse where it is housed, pending when it is going out or when buyers comes in. These buyers can be wholesalers, they can be retailers, they can be final consumers. When we get to our production class, we will see the chain of production. Some chains of production move from producers to consumers directly, or from consumers, from producers to wholesaler to retailer, then to final consumers. When we get there, we'll find out why this warehousing is an important function in commerce. So this is our class for today. We've covered the meaning of commerce, the functions of commerce, and then the scope of commerce. Go over these videos again so you can understand them better. Thank you for being part of the class. Give us a comment below the comment box. Ask your question if you have, and then we will know how to serve you better. Thank you for being my community. Until our next class.